Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Rome International Film Festival show. This is Rome Business Radio. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios in downtown Rome on beautiful Broad Street, and this program is brought to you by a local business, Manco Logistics. You can find them online at mancolog.com. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio. I am your humble moderator, joined by our host, Seth Ingram with the Rome International Film Festival. How are you, Seth?
Fantastic. How are you?
Well, I'm not as busy as you are. You got the film festival sneaking up, and we've got an event tied into the film festival you want to talk about, and you've got a friend on the phone with us here. Who we got joining us?
We got Randy Davidson of the Georgia Entertainment News, and we're excited that we're going to be hosting the Georgia Entertainment News Roadshow on November the 2nd. So howdy, Randy.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us while you're in transit doing somewhere important in your car.
Yes.
But for people like me, just that don't know as much about the industry as you guys, tell me about what do you do at Georgia Entertainment News? What is that?
So we're a publication that covers the industry. We cover entertainment, and we started in 2016. And primarily, as everyone knows in Georgia, film is a major part of Georgia's focus on the entertainment industry. But we also cover other areas that touch into film, such as music and gaming development, and animation, post production, and so forth. So we cover that with commentary and analysis, and we do videos, and we support and join and work with great partners like the Rome International Film Festival and Rome proper as a city. And our main goal is to continue exposure of all of the entertainment and arts and culture that's happening around not just Atlanta but in great cities like Rome and other parts of the state of Georgia.
And how did you get in? What is your background? How did you get involved in this industry?
Well, I've been involved in online media and publishing since Al Gore invented the internet back in 1999. So I just knew I had to latch on to what was happening with this inner tubes situation or internet. So I've been doing online media for a long time, and back in 2010 area, I had a company called Georgia CEO, which there's a publication in Rome called RomeCEO.com, which is an online hyperlocal business publication. But there's several of those around the state, Savannah CEO and Middle Georgia CEO, et cetera. But as I was doing that, and having those publications, it was made known to me that no one was really covering the film and movie industry and the entertainment industry in Georgia, and that it was booming. And the state was providing, incentives for spending and so forth. So that's when we decided to start the publication, sort of as an afterthought in 2016. Since then, I've exited the Georgia CEO is what that hyperlocal business publication is. I exited it. It still exists today, but and does well. But this is my full-time passion and mission. Is working within Georgia's creative and entertainment economy.
And how did you and Seth connect? How do y'all go? Just through RIFF?
No, through I guess we met at Moonshine Post through Drew, and I was working on a TV show at the time, and Drew introduced me to Randy. I think that's right. Is that right, Randy? Is that where you?
Yeah. Our good friend Drew Sawyer. He's kind of he's what we call an OG of this industry, and he does post production. He's from Rome, and he's got a successful business in the industry. And I think that's right, Seth. I think that's how we got that direct link between me and you.
And that was right after you had taken over the entertainment news, and you've grown it into a much bigger thing than it once was.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, well, let's talk about these road shows.
So just from an overview perspective of our we do events. One of our main things is doing events, and Seth has been great to travel wherever we've had these events, and and so those are sort of, scheduled. We usually have 3 or 4 a year, but this year we were persuaded due to legislative, circumstances in the environment to do a road show. What had happened earlier this year is that the legislature, along with the governor, decided to stand up a review committee to review the film tax credit, which has driven so much revenue and direct spending into the state of Georgia. And in doing that, they named a committee to review that over the summer and then report back to the legislature in January. So Georgia's legislature, as many may know, is from January through the end of March. It's a 3-month, basically a 3-month period. So when we found out who those legislators were and where they were, it just looked like a really great spread around Georgia in different cities. So we stood up a road show to go to all of those cities, 9 cities on this road show, which, covers all of those areas, but it's, Columbus and Warner Robins and Valdosta and Rome. And so we set the schedule up, and then we got with Seth to say, hey, Seth, how can we collaborate and work together and partner on an event that can happen in Rome, and when's a good date? And that's when we proceeded to, join this right up against, one of the most respected festivals in Georgia and around, really, the Rome International Film Festival. So we're excited. Maybe Seth can talk a little. Seth, maybe you can share a little more from your perspective about how this came about.
Oh yeah, what is the purpose of the road show? To expose the city to the industry?
I think both ways.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy.
No, that's what it is. So we're in different cities, like in Rome, for example. We will have, we recruit people from all over the state of Georgia and even beyond in some cases to come to Rome to see what's going on in Rome. Filmmakers and producers and financiers, and also legislators. Anybody that's around that city. In this case, Rome. Legislators, elected officials, government officials, to come to the event. And at the event, the content is really us talking about what's been happening in that city or in that region. And we have, a couple of experts from UGA, from, Georgia State University, from some, from other experts that have watched this and studied it, monitored it. We have them give brief presentations with data behind it, and then we incorporate local business owners right there from right in Rome. We'll have local people involved in gaming and music and film, and they'll be talking about how they feed their families and support their the local economy there.
Well, that is interesting. So many people just think of the film world as the artistic, creative side. Just people on the street. You hear about the movie industry. Oh yeah, I saw that movie. You're interested. It's the storytelling, but there is so much business, so much. You even mentioned the Georgia State Legislature. There's taxes, there's business, but there's all kinds of business. There's catering, there's equipment, there's transportation. It's not just. It extends into everything, doesn't it? Hotels, restaurants, you name it.
And this is very timely for Rome because we've put together a steering committee to form a film commission. And so that film commission is looking at some local incentives they can put in place too. So this brings all the players into one spot to kind of have conversation and talk about what it would look like for Rome to have its own incentive to try to bring more production here.
So on top of what the state already does, you're aggressively, proactively trying to get the Rome-Floyd County area to do it too.
That's right. And it'd be on top of the state tax incentive. And it could be, probably leveraged by money spent in the county and how that works. And we have to offset, with the unions, they have a bubble of how far you can travel outside without having to pay per diems. So the idea is that the local incentive would kind of offset some of that travel per diems that the productions face.
So putting Rome more of in a sweet spot from the financial side consideration is, know.
And I think the idea would be to catch more. We get a lot of the day players that come up for Stranger Things and the big shows that shoot up here from time to time. But we want to catch more of those independent productions, the 20 million and under type productions that we could anchor here, or maybe get a TV show here to anchor here at some point. So that's the idea of what we want to do with the incentive, is try to set it up so that it really focuses on getting a long-term production here.
So, Randy, your Georgia entertainment thing is that primarily, is your audience industry, or is it anybody?
Yeah, no, it's so the unscripted road shows are for anybody. I mean, if you follow our publication, it's mostly folks that are really vested, in the core. And I say that as opposed to, actors or actresses that may not be full time in it. That we're certainly targeting them. They're an important audience, but our audience is more folks like Seth and professionals, entertainment lawyers, financiers and directors, producers with credit. But you brought up something very interesting a while ago, and what we do with the unscripted is it's catering, it's hotels. So for the Rome event, we will have a caterer that caters towards towards film and entertainment industry. We have a hotel that's entertainment friendly, that understands that productions have different needs than, say, the transient business traveler. We're going to be in a venue that is supportive of film and the creative industry there in Rome. So even all of the, and obviously we're joined right up next to the film festival. So the whole thing for us is to show sort of a living, breathing case study of who the industry players are in the area, and to show that this is not, just, A-list actors in Hollywood coming in here. These are people that live here and want these jobs for the future. Creative jobs are highly desirable and highly compensate and have high compensation. This is a great, industry for Georgia to continue to invest in, and a great industry for Rome to back and be behind as well.
And how long have y'all done these road shows, or is this a relatively new development?
So the road shows are brand new this year.
Yeah, okay.
We've been doing events all over Georgia, but as I mentioned before, we do 3 or 4 large events, scattering them around the state. But the road show was something that was created as a result of the review by the legislature. But what's good about it is now there's going to be road shows every year because when we set up the dates and the locations, I mean, we had cities like Albany, Georgia, and other cities around the state that's like, hey, why didn't we get picked, or why are y'all going there and not here? So we feel like there's a hunger out there for us to do these on an ongoing basis in the same similar format.
Well, Rome is better than all those other cities.
Well, I'm hoping we're hoping to figure out a way to make the Rome thing an annual thing where we can be involved up there. I mean, Georgia Entertainment is going to be involved with the film festival, and Seth and Leanne and the team up there on an ongoing basis. Anyway, no matter what, but it would be great to have something reoccurring on this that really highlights the entirety of the creative economy there.
Well, this sounds just like, again, I'm more of a film buff, and I moderate a podcast that Seth hosts, but so I'm kind of on the outside of the industry looking in, but I'm very fascinated by it. It seems like this is just kind of a natural extension over the last 10, 20 years, whenever the incentives kicked in, of it's another mark to me of industry growth, that this type of thing is being added to the mix of as things grow. Would y'all agree that this is just another natural step in the evolution process to help it continue to grow?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the smaller rural communities that haven't been able to participate in it as much as maybe the cities like around in the greater metro area of Atlanta, it's an opportunity for them to realize, we can participate in this too. And there's actually it's evolving into a way where you can have more participation in the industry. So I think, it opens people's eyes to what is possible in these communities.
Well, and especially like when stuff is shot in a real town, I mean, it just looks It looks better. Stuff shot at Berry College. If you're listening around the world, stuff shot at Berry College or downtown Rome looks great.
Well, Broad Street here in downtown Rome played New York City and Sweet Home Alabama, so we can make it look like a lot of things with movie magic.
Yeah, movie magic.
Well, Georgia has it all. I mean, but the film incentive, Georgia backing that, it's really the tip of the spear for all the other areas that we've talked about already, for the entertainment industry. I mean, leaders in gaming development and music and all that, animation, they will all acknowledge that investment, that pours billions of dollars into Georgia's economy has helped it spread out not only into other segments of entertainment, but up into Rome, over into Athens, down into South Georgia. And I always say, I say this, in our newsletter a lot and in live events and things, that Georgia's support for this industry gets better with time. It's not something that should ever be looked at as, we'll eventually make it go away, but no, it's something that gets better with time because it's something that grows and grows and spreads, in multiple areas.
I may be putting both of you guys on the spot here, but where does Georgia rank now in number of productions like versus California or New York or whatever? Do y'all know?
Randy, I'll defer to you. I think that we're.
I'm stumping you, aren't I?
We're number one in either film or TV. I think it's in actual production, but then in the overall, I think we're still third.
And it depends on the categories. Like Seth, if you remember, I think it was a couple years ago, we were number one. But then when you looked at the fine print, we were number one in feature films that had over $100 million budget, which is still a great victory, right? For us to get that to be number one in the feature film category. But like Seth said, we're one or two, in lots of categories. I mean, we're on pace to have the most purpose-built soundstage space in the country and even in the world, as we continue to invest and grow, we're really getting better at this. Look at what Seth's talking about regarding, developing an entertainment commission there that can actually be seen by outside entertainment executives looking to do tours and production, and episodics in a Rome. To know that Rome is receptive and that leaders there understand the economic ROI for having a production there and for doing these things. Beyond the direct money, but the mental wellness and pride and, ancillary opportunities that present itself, nonprofit support, career, training and education. Seth can talk a lot about that as well, but just the entirety of it is so incredible, that we're hoping that all of the momentum continues.
Well, I guess they feed each other. The industry feeds the film festival, and the film festival feeds the industry.
And then the education part of it, as we touched on there, is a big part of it.
In what way?
Lots of film training. Obviously, we have a film program at Georgia Highlands. It's our biggest enrollment in the humanities division over there. We also have a lot of students from Georgia Highlands go to the Georgia Film Academy, which trains students to work on set on the below-the-line type positions. And we've had a lot of those students go on to have success, and those students would love to be working here and not have to go into Atlanta all the time. And I think a lot of people would love not to have to fight Atlanta traffic to work on productions. So we can build a crew base here through those educational things that we're doing. And, all the high schools here have a college and career academy now that have an emphasis on film and media production. So we're fostering all of that and growing it all, in the incubator that it is of what we can do here. And we just want to present more opportunities for those students to have, jobs locally rather than have to go shipped off to Atlanta or New York or LA.
Right. So you're helping to create a workforce that's more enticing to the industry to do more stuff here as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. You guys have a plan.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah. So, and we are really excited about it, and we're combining. On November the 2nd is when we're going to do the road show, and it's going to be that's opening night of the film festival as well. So it'll be during the afternoon. We're going to have our presenters at the DeSoto Theater. And then we're going to have a networking reception that's going to be combined with the Chamber of Commerce business after hours. So we'll have lots of community people in for that as well. And then we'll have some networking. Then we'll get ready for opening night of the festival following that. So it's going to be a big fun time in Rome. And we're highlighting 2 Georgia-made productions on opening night, 2 independent productions, and one was shot entirely here in Rome. The other was produced by Dad's Garage in Atlanta. So we've got 2 fun films for opening night. How to Ruin the Holidays is one, and then the second one is You're Killing Me. So we
How to Ruin the Holidays. Start talking about politics.
yeah.
How to Ruin the Holidays, and You're Killing Me.
And You're Killing Me. Yeah, that's gonna be our late night film. It's a thriller. That's the one that was filmed in Rome.
Okay,
that's
good.
Great.
That's a great title. Both of them are great titles. Anything more for Randy here, Seth?
Randy, you got any other news? And tell us how we can get in touch with you and people can follow the Georgia Entertainment News.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great time to start following us. I'm not sure when this would air, but you can go to georgiaentertainment.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Randy Davidson. I'm Randy at georgiaentertainment.com. And leading up to the Rome event that we're having on November the 2nd, we will have several pieces within our publication, which we've already had highlighting Rome. And that's the other advantage of doing events, partnering with us like we've done with Rome, is that we really work hard pre-event and even post-event to really highlight Rome assets, for entertainment executives, for businesses that are looking to locate there and support productions there, rental houses, prop houses, transportation companies, all of that. It's when you come to that event, you're going to meet people not only from Rome, in Rome, but there's going to be people coming, looking at Rome, to do projects. So it's a great time to reach out. We would love to hear from you all, and love to have you all follow us.
Yeah, and the road show will be in Columbus on October the 5th and in Rome November the 2nd. Yeah,
exactly. And we're you caught me right now driving to Augusta, where we're having it tonight. That event. So it's a busy time, and then we're going to Savannah, and then we'll be down in Valdosta. So all of those event dates and RSVP information is all on the website for folks to gather more information.
So is this your event? Is these road shows?
Yeah. These are Georgia Entertainment events.
Yeah.
But they're supported by the Department of Economic Development.
There we go.
All of the major advocacy and supporting organizations in music and gaming and film. So it's a big effort that we have behind it. We're so happy that all of those organizations get behind it too, because they're helping to plug these communities as we move from one city to the next.
Yeah, I might have misunderstood that off the top of the show, but this is your baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is our sort of creation, but I mean, we're certainly beyond humble about, it could not have happened if all the stars didn't align and everybody, set aside any type of need to be, to take over like content or whatever. It's been an amazing collaboration of a bunch of folks, but we are the ones running it. And then in each market we have a champion, and in Rome it's Seth and Leanne and the city and the chamber. We've met with them. They all come together. Everybody high fives, and we're on this working it together. So that's why it's exciting as well.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. And Leanne's in the other Rome. She's in Rome, Italy right now. So
I saw that on her email. She's like, I don't think y'all should allow that for any Rome person to go to the other Rome. That's not cool.
It is very confusing when we're an international film festival and we say we're in Rome. We get a lot of European submissions, and then when we accept them, they realize that we're the other Rome.
Well, it's not confusing to us; it's confusing to everybody else.
Right. And our fest is older than theirs, so we were here first.
That's right, man. That's right. This is the real Rome.
The film festival may have been here first, but I think Rome, Italy was actually Rome first.
That's right.
some details that don't matter.
All right, well, guys, any final thoughts other than it's sneaking up? And how can people participate in this thing just on the show here in Rome on that Thursday?
So they can. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say they can go to GeorgiaEntertainment.com, and there'll be a RSVP link under the Rome event, and they can sign up and they'll receive all the information from our end. And I think Seth can share how folks can make sure they can be involved in the other festivities, right, of the festival. Yeah,
and we'll have like I said, it's tied in with the Chamber Business After Hours, so we're going to share out the RSVP link with the Chamber members, so that all the downtown businesses here can participate and come to the event. And then for those that want to purchase a RIFF pass and come to the festival or for opening night, we'd love to have everyone stick around. And so those are available on riffga.com, and the festival schedule will be announced this coming week.
Any hints? Any teases?
Well, let's just say it's going to be fun. I will give a few hints, but we got some great films coming up. I've made a few announcements about the opening night ones. We got Tim Blake Nelson's son Henry Nelson directed a film called "Asleep in My Palm" that I'm really excited about. We may have a few big name guests that I can't quite announce just yet, but I'm really anxious to announce.
In the industry, we call that a tease.
That is a tease. So stay tuned and monitor that RIFF social media at Rome Film and riffga.com, and we will have our schedule up and our announcements and our press releases and all that coming out.
So, and of course, there's also ticket information on there to buy, be a patron, or there's all kinds of great information of what to do to enjoy the experience.
For sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Randy, for joining us. We appreciate it. Safe travels, safe driving.
Thank you. We enjoyed it.
We appreciate your time. You've been listening to the Rome International Film Festival show here on Rome Business Radio. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios in downtown Rome, and this show has been presented by MancoLogistics.com. You can find them online at mancolog.com. For Seth Ingram, I'm Roger Manus. Thank you so much for listening.